People are very generous. So I'm learning generosity from people. I'm learning to smile more when I look at people.
Meet Gurleen, who moved from India to Bangkok 2 years ago in search of a better lifestyle. She shares why Thailand feels safer and less stressful than back home, what surprised her most about Thai culture, and why she believes fulfillment comes more from small moments than chasing a perfect life. I'm Tyler, showing what life abroad is really like, straight from those living it around the world. Come along.
I mean, it was pretty simple for me because coming from India to Thailand, I think as far as culture is concerned, it's pretty much the same. India being a very collectivist society, Thailand as well is a very collectivist, very warm country. So I think adjustment has not been a problem at all. And I think I'm loving it here. It's been 2 years already, and it has just flown. Like the years have flown.
So, what was the drive to leave India, just in general?
For me personally, one better lifestyle. Another reason is pollution. Although there is always a contrast effect bias, it's not that Bangkok is the freshest city. It's not that. But compared to Delhi, where I am from, I think Bangkok is way better. Third is, I think, as a woman, I feel very safe here in Bangkok in Thailand. Compared to India, I can wear anything. I can even go out at 2 a.m. in the night. I think these are some of the reasons. Lifestyle, majorly. And cherry on the cake is Thailand is not very expensive,
Yes.
So that way it checks all the boxes. And yeah, so basically, lifestyle is one of the major reasons why I decided to move.
And was that always like a part of your life, like growing up, that idea of just living in another country wasn't as big of a deal for you?
It wasn't a big deal for me because the place that I come from, so within India also I come from Punjab, and Punjab is known for its migration. A lot of youth, a lot of people migrate to other countries, especially European countries or the US or Canada. So it wasn't an alien concept because a lot of my cousins, a lot of family members, they had already moved to other countries when I was a little kid. So the concept wasn't alien at all. But of course, it did not strike to me that I am going to be making this decision in my life. So it wasn't there as a child or even when I was growing up. So this idea really cemented maybe 5 years ago or 6 years ago,
Okay.
when I felt that, okay, I'm in my early 20s, mid 20s, and I want to live life according to my own free will. And yeah, so basically, yeah, 5 years.
So, have you grown as a person throughout these last 2 years?
I think so, yes. I that's a good question, actually. In the last year, I did not think about it from this perspective that how have I grown in the last 2 years. But for sure, I think I have. People are very civilized over here, in the sense that even when you are on an escalator, for example, everyone is on the right hand side. If you're at 7-Eleven and someone wants to move past you, and even if you're blocking the way, they'll keep standing behind you. They are very warm, friendly. I think friendly is not the right word. I feel they're very generous. People are very generous. So I'm learning generosity from people. I'm learning to smile more when I look at people. So I think that's how I have grown. I think I will become even more emotionally intelligent because I feel that Thai people are very emotionally attuned, emotionally intelligent. So I think that is what I'm picking from Thailand. And these are just observations.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure when I'm applying all of this in my life, I'm growing as a person. Another thing that I noticed is that people in Thailand, they're very close to nature. They love greenery, the forest, the plants. And one time, so I was in a cab, and we know how Bangkok's traffic is. It gets really bad
Yep.
sometimes. So there was a cab driver, and there was a red light, and it was a long jam. And I saw him coming out of his car. He picked up a bottle of water, and he saw a couple of plants that were so dried up on the road itself. So he got out, picked up the water bottle, and he fed the plants right there and then. So that was quite a good shock for me that people care about nature and greenery so much that it is part of their everyday ecosystem. They live, they co create things with nature. And I think Thailand has only acted as a catalyst for me. I'm a little more attuned with nature and like going inward, I feel.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, what would you define as living your life to the fullest?
Oh God, it's it's such an easy and a difficult question. um, I think fulfilling. I've actually thought a lot about it, and I think fulfilling life, if I have like 20, 30 boxes, i I don't think I will, even if I check all the boxes, I don't think I will feel that now my life is fulfilled, because human being is such that we are always not satisfied, you know.
It's true.
And there is also this theoretical hedonic treadmill, you know. We feel that if we check these boxes we are going to be happy or we are going to be fulfilled, but that never happens in reality. So I feel a fulfilled life is, I think, for me it is having a nice warm cup of coffee in the morning, you know, looking at the sunset, even watching Netflix for that matter. So I feel that it's living in the moment, really appreciating and enjoying the present moment, I feel, will translate to a fulfilled life, because I don't think I have like a checklist of things. Of course basic things are taken care of, for example safety, pollution and all of these hygiene factors are taken care of, but other than that I think it's the everyday small pleasures that keeps you in rhythm and fulfilled.
So,
Yeah.
right now, do you think you're living your life to the fullest?
I think so, yes, absolutely. And of course, there are bad days, and a lot of times it's not the external factors that contribute to that, but it's your own inner, maybe lack of awareness, or you're not feeling good. So there are bad days for sure, but I think that also contributes to a fulfilled life, because otherwise how would you differentiate between happy days and sad days and bad days? So I'm glad for my bad and sad days also, because that also gives me a little bit of purpose, a little bit of, you know, that ambition to move forward. To that little bit of restlessness is also needed, I believe, and it's all, I think, it all forms a fulfilled life. So it
Yeah,
it, it doesn't have to be like only positive or only negative. I think it's both.
agree.
Yeah.
How do you feel happiness if you don't know what sadness feels like? It's that
Yeah, yeah.
balance.
Absolutely.
Get that.
Precisely, yeah.
So, for someone who feels a call to make a change in their life,
Mhm.
they want to do something different, but they're afraid to take that first step, how would you approach it? What advice would you give to them?
So I think number one is go inward, recognize your values, that if you want to make any change, why are you making that change? What are your non negotiables? What are your values? So once you're clear, when you are internally clear what you want, I think action is comparatively easier, because now you just have to execute the plan or the blueprint that you have in mind. And then step by step, break it into small steps and according to what you want, because there's no cookie cutter approach to change. Everyone will have different aspirations. So I think knowing that is important, and then, yeah, taking one step at a time.